This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Wednesday morning? It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're checking us out on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody who is joining us right there, or you're checking us out on my own Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Joe Gaither 6. You can join us in the comments section or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. We appreciate everybody who's joining us on this Wednesday morning, as we hope you are starting your new year off great. We're here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, live off of McFarland Boulevard with my friend Mason Woods. You can follow him at MAWoods_. He just got done typing out a piece for us at BamaCentral.com. We're so excited to bring you a show. Mason, first thing that comes to my brain as we're going through these intros at the beginning of the year, how long do you go saying, oh, get you to get off to a Happy New Year, get off to a good start for the first year?
Your head's in the exact same place mine is, because I was so ready to ask you if you're a Larry David guy. And if you subscribe to I think he says it's like 4 days into the new year, that's the day you cut it off. You can't say Happy New Year anymore.
We're done.
Yeah, I think it's a bit on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Great show. If you never watched it, if anybody's never watched it, very hilarious. But yeah, I think you get 4 or 5 days into the new year, and then you got to cut it off, because after that, it's like, is it even the new year anymore? We're over a weekend.
We are. Just trying to remind you, don't fall into those habits of 2024. My experience with this conversation goes to Dan Le Batard's show, and they have one of their talking heads gets irrationally upset if you wish it to him past a certain date. I don't know what the date is, but then he was like, you can say it to me once. Like, those are the two caveats. You can say it to me up to the 5th or whatever, but then he's like, but in between the 1st and the 5th, you only get it once. You can't say every time I see you every morning, hey man, Happy New Year. Hey man, Happy New Year. And he was like, you can't and so one of the guys was like, what if I don't talk to you till July? Or like what if I don't talk to you till June? Like, hey, how's your New Year? Happy New Year.
Apparently, according to Larry David, we have until the 7th, so you get the first full week. That's on the same topic. I got show back up to Home Depot on Monday, and immediately get hit with the haven't seen you since last year. There's nothing worse than that joke right there. Just a swing and a miss on that one.
All right, so I'm stumbling into the show today with that because we're recording at the time we should be recording, early in the morning. Not early. Everybody's been up working hard.
Early for us sports folks, this is.
Well, yeah. Well, for the people who have terrible sleep habits, it's not early at all. You, my friend, what time you clock in at Home Depot? 6 a.m.
5 a.m.
Yeah, 5. So you get out of here early. We're doing fine. That was just a tangent that hit me right off the bat. Let's tell the people what we're actually going to talk about today, not the New Year's discussion and discourse. If you have an opinion of it, feel free, of course, jump in the comments. But I want to talk about 2 players who made announcements yesterday. Does everybody get a bleep announcement, Mason Woods? We're going to talk about an assistant coach who's joining the coaching staff, but not on the field. We're going to talk about basketball, Alabama basketball, going to South Carolina tonight. Miles Stute is going to be out of the lineup for the Gamecocks. But really, if you didn't pay attention to college basketball last night, that's A-okay. You were like, okay, I'm just going to get geared up for Alabama's game on Wednesday. That's when I'm going to plug into basketball. Look, buddy, Alabama's game to South Carolina didn't change at all based on the games last night, because obviously those 2 games didn't affect this game. But they should send a message to Alabama that there ain't going to be no off nights in the SEC on the road. Auburn squeaking out a win at Texas. Kentucky losing big. Tennessee losing big. So we'll talk about all that as more. But we got to start with football, because that's the bread and butter. That's what you guys pay for and subscribe for on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com. So once again, we are live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We appreciate Derek Daniel for hosting us. You can call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Call Red, Reese, and Victoria. They're upstairs right now. They'll be there throughout the workday. You can reach them right there, 205-758-3391. You get you a quick auto insurance quote. You can compare it to your other, wherever else you have insurance. Take it to the wife. Take it to the other people in the family. And you got a new kid getting a driver's license. You got to get them insured. You can call and shop around. Derek Daniel can help you. Call him at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Hi, Mason Woods. I am on the on-duty spot yesterday for Alabama for BamaCentral, and a couple good things happened. Nothing major, really. We spent a little bit of time with NATO. It's Katie Wyndham spent a little bit of time with the gymnastics squad and found out that one of their superstars is out for the year with injury, but I think they're expecting a big year. But we spent some time with NATO. It's Hunter DeCyber wrote something from that. Great job, Hunter. Well done. A+. You can read about that, getting ready for facing Nick Pringle again. Alabama's going to be facing Nick Pringle. Your second game in two SEC games. You're playing a guy from last year's squad. Should be interesting, but you can read about that. Then later in the day, you get the Instagrams, the Twitters. Jaden Roberts, big old muscle man, I'm back. And a little bit later, Keon Sabb with his pin letter, I'm coming back for my next year. And while I'm not unexcited, while I think that is great news for Alabama, woohoo, whoop-de-doo, roll tide, hang the banner, hit the horns, whatever you want to do. I think we have some horns around here, but does everybody get a bleeping announcement? You didn't go. The transfer portal window's closed, buddy. Look, Jaden Roberts, looking forward to you coming back healthy. Yeah. Keon Sabb, looking forward to you coming back healthy. Think you're both going to be great players. Mm-hmm. Keon was great to speak to in the media. We didn't really speak to Jaden much. I think we only had one or two times with Jaden, and that was in the spring of last year. But Keon was great with the media. So like my exposure with these guys, great. So I'm thinking thumbs up. But from a practical standpoint, the transfer portal window for Alabama closed 2 days ago, buddy. And Keon Sabb and Jaden Roberts, I guess you are draft eligible, sure. But so what are we doing here? What are we doing here? You're both injured. Were you gonna go to the NFL? Were you gonna go to the combine with your various injuries, whatever? Keon Sabb with his foot and Jaden Roberts with what he's been dealing with this year. Like you weren't. That was never gonna happen. No. So like, does the graphic designer just be like, "Hey man, I got a little bit more juice in me, got a little bit more in me," or do the guys go and say,
they put the sticks to him a little bit, like, "Hey man, just throw us a graphic too. Let me get my few thousand likes on Instagram."
Oh, is it for NIL? Is it to keep the exposure?
Could be.
Get the exposure up.
Keeping the name out there. I mean, I think it's the guy just wants to have his moment. He wants to get his message out there.
What moment?
His little, hey, Bama fans, I'm coming back. And he'll get a bunch of people, "Oh, so happy you're back. Oh, we can't wait for next year. You're going to be so good next season." He gets a flood of positive comments, gets a bunch of likes, gets a bunch of people blowing smoke,
So it's a serotonin boost. It's a dopamine hit.
Of course. Hey, it's good for morale.
It's that ding, ding, ding on your phone.
Yep. Number go up, make brain happy.
I can't deny that. I am guilty of that myself. It's certain
It is
instances.
silly though. Just at the on its like on principle.
You were never going anywhere.
No. It's of course you're coming back. We all knew this. This is thank you, Captain Obvious.
Like DeBoer let the cat out of the bag on Keon Sabb coming back like in November. And I think Jaden Roberts will be an NFL player and might have been a draft pick had he been healthy this year. I don't think he played particularly great, but I think that a lot of that's due to injury. Thanks for the news.
I'm happy you're back.
I got a text from him, "Are you going to write that?" I said, "No, I'm not going to write that."
Everybody would just be like, "Of course." Is this news?
Well, I'm sure. Some of our competitors did because it's cheap clicks and for them and great on them. But it's just like, what are we doing? I'm not going to feed into when it's news. I'm gonna ride it.
Jaden Roberts saying he's coming back is a little different than if Jalen Milroe had said he was coming back, or if when Damani Jackson said he was coming back.
Damani's a great yeah, and anything on Sunday as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like before the transfer portal window closes, like man.
But yeah, we all knew what y'all were doing, buddy. I mean, you couldn't have just put this graphic out a few days earlier. Then it would have had a little more juice to it, maybe.
What do you think about the offensive line now, though, that it's kind of pretty much solidified with? Look, you got Proctor, Blank, Brailsford, Roberts, and Formby, per se. In this blank, you've got Cam Dewberry, maybe, transfer from Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
In this blank, you've got Olasa Lennon might be a good play. You've got Rock Montgomery might be a good play. You've got Casey Poe might be a good play. I think you got a lot of good options in that blank. Now your tackles are still like. All right, let's be honest. What do you think of Caden Proctor? You had 2 years now. 2 years now. Let me set you up and go.
Mm-hmm.
2 years now. Freshman year. 5-star, number 1, number 2 tackle in the class, comes in, battles out for Elijah Pritchett, takes the job and runs with it. Then, let's just be honest, doesn't want to go to the Rose Bowl because he's homesick and has to get talked into it. Goes, and I think was playing hurt also. Then goes in the portal, back, plays. However you want to say that he played this year, also playing hurt again, shoulder injury, so battled through it. Second year, where are we at? Has Caden Proctor lived up to what we thought he would be? Where are we at with Caden Proctor going into year number 3?
I think it's maybe a little unfair to kind of play is he what we thought he was going to be, because these recruiting services, like, they build a lot of these kids up as if they're like the second coming of Jesus sometimes. And Caden Proctor, I think, was a bit of an example of that, where 247 on 3 rivals, whoever it was, lauded him as like, this is the next tackle, the 5-star plus, whatever it is. And, many Bama fans got that in their heads that, like, okay, this kid, and then, he wins a job as a freshman, which does not happen often.
Yeah.
It's like,
rare.
Oh, we really, really got something now. And, had all these expectations put on him so early. I don't think he's played bad. I think he just hasn't necessarily elevated the offense like you would maybe expect from your premier left tackle. So, we've talked about it. Like, if you don't need the left tackle is not going to be the difference between you like winning and losing that one position. But if you have a really, really elite one, like, it can help a lot. But if you can get by with just an okay one, and I think Alabama has gotten by with just decent to a slightly above average play from him. I just don't think they've really gotten the elite play that could elevate the offense.
Okay, well, take that and go further. Do you think he's capable of being elite in year number 3? Or do you think it's going to be like, take you off the fence? Do you think it'd be another year of just, it's above average play?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think he's capable of being that, hey, man, we're running left right behind 74, and you can send whatever blitz you want, but he's just going to, boom, stonewall you?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's, he's dealt with injuries and stuff, so he hasn't really.
I mean, he is a massive man.
Yeah,
you've been around him a little.
I don't know how much we've really seen of him at 100% or, at full capacity. I'm sure we've seen a little bit. And he's shown spurts, I think, in those showings. Yeah, I don't know that I could feel confident enough placing my stamp of approval as like, this is everything is going to filter through Caden Proctor.
But you're not, like, at this point. I mean,
you don't have any other options,
right? Look at the landscape. You're not going out and getting a left unless you're tampering your butt off and you're paying you're paying for it, which could happen. Sure. Well, I'm not going to rule that out, but I would say that's very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that so you flip to Taco Casa's side, and is it Taco Casa? Is it Jackson Lloyd? Is it you got this transfer in from Ball State who's apparently got arms down to his ankles? Almost no experience out of basically a Justin Okoronkwo situation, an international player who's come over, played at Ball State for a year. Like, what's the deal here? Is it Micah DeBose out of DeBose out of Viger, isn't he? The freshman,
Mobile, yeah.
What's the deal?
I mean, I think if you can, because I don't think it's crazy to say that you had pretty, for the most part of the year, below average to just objectively bad to play from the right tackle position this season. If you can just get just any better there, it's gonna help out a whole lot. Tackles here, so if you just get better there, which I think more experienced, Wilkin Formby, I really like Jackson Lloyd. I don't know if he'll quite be ready as a freshman,
Right, muscles, strength.
Yeah, but Wilkin Formby with another year in the program, I feel good about what he can do there.
Yeah, take it down that road, because take the same question for Proctor to Formby. How confident are you in him? We saw what he was this year. Below average, struggled, tried hard, gave good effort, got better.
Sure.
How confident are you in 9 months that he will be even better, or will it be kind of the same version of, he's just going to always be fighting his butt off. He's always going to be kind of just hanging on.
I mean, I think we will see an improved Wilkin Formby. I do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's going to jump from being maybe a C- this year to like an A+. But if he can get into that B- territory, I think you're feeling pretty good about the offensive line, and I think he can get there. I think he did show improvement this season. He was thrown out there early in the year, and it was like, this guy cannot be on the college football field. And then by the end of the year, he was serviceable, and that's not something to turn your nose up at. That's a pretty big step in a short amount of time. So give him a whole off season, and I feel good about his improvement. I feel better about him than I do Caden Proctor, strangely.
All right, let's go to the other side of the ball that made an announcement. Keelan Sabb coming back. He's solidified. Like, come on. We knew this, buddy. We knew this like 5 minutes after you broke your foot at Tennessee. Now, hey, again, super great in the media. Very thoughtful answers, and apparently was a great leader. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about Keelan Sabb, the person, the player, at all. I just think it's a little silly to put the announcement out.
I mean, I guess with him, he was viewed as a player who probably was going to be like
he might have been a one and
year
done
at Alabama and then go on. So maybe there were some rumblings that potentially, even though he got injured, there's still some NFL teams liking him, whatever. I don't really think there was anybody that truly thought Alabama was going to be losing Keelan Sabb next year to the NFL or even to the transfer portal or anything.
So Bray Hubbard, Keelan Sabb, Xavier Mincy, Red Morgan. Who else? You got King Mack went portaling. That's fine. Who was the kid that you came? Cam Howard, the kid from Charlotte, Cameron Howard. Still has more time left. He did not go portaling. What other safeties do I have here? I don't care about the 25s because they're not going, because this room is stacked. Like you ain't getting on the field unless you are special. So really, it's Bray. I mean, your start. That's exactly right. Your starters are going to be Bray, Sabb, and Mincy.
Red Morgan floating in here and there.
With Cam Howard kind of jumping in and out.
I really like Red Morgan.
Dude, he's a dog. He's a banger.
Yes.
He's as a freshman this year, he was a little bit gettable on film. Like you could get him to bite on some stuff with that aggression, but when he did connect, he was an impactful tackler.
We also have Draker Patrick Jr.
Oh, come on. We can't forget about Junior.
He's back there too.
Junior's going to be a playmaker eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know when, and it may only be 1 year, but he's the type to stay here as long as it takes to get on the field, I think. And maybe I don't know that, but that's just my feel from him.
It seems like.
And I think he's going to eventually make plays here. He's going to want to say, "Yeah, I did it too in the number 21 jersey."
I feel really good about this safety class or the safety room. It's a stacked room.
All right, so woohoo! Roll Tide, Jaden Roberts, Keon Tab, everybody celebrate.
Welcome
everybody
back.
give them their flowers that they were looking for. Go to their social medias.
Go
Yeah,
gas
okay,
them up.
here's one thing that I find funny. And I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I try not to do it a lot. But Player X announces whatever. He's coming back. He's going to the portal. He's going to the draft. Anything. Doesn't matter. And the reporter like copies the post and posts it as their own and with their and I am guilty of it. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I need to just stop and I need to do it the right way. You just take players' post and retweet it instead of copying their as your own. It's so annoying. But like I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna look back through and it's gonna be like the last post. It's gonna be the very last post that I did. I'm sure. Oh, dude. Speaking of Alabama and championships, I know this isn't a wrestling show, but the University of Alabama needs to celebrate Obafemi last night winning the NXT championship.
Hey.
NXT, basically the developmental brand of WWE. And last night, the former Alabama track and field athlete, the shot putter, his real name is not Obafemi. Maybe you can find his real name.
Isaac Odugbasan, Odugbessan.
Okay, Isaac.
Yep, we'll go with Isaac.
So he
very large man.
He's massive, and dude,
he's listed as 6'4", 310.
I think that's probably accurate.
Like Dave Bautista in his prime.
Yeah, but he's a little more round than Dave Bautista. Honestly, we'll just be honest. He's not as cut, and he moves like a monster. And so
this is an intimidating man.
Yeah,
I would not want to wrestle this man.
And he throws these people around, and obviously we know it's scripted, whatever.
Sure.
But he throws these people around like it is nothing. Like he was a shot putter at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He's a shot putter, so you know the big old ball in your neck.
Yeah, here we go.
Shoving it out, and he is just so.
I mean, he was huge when he was at Alabama, for what it's worth, but he's even larger now. Golly, that's a big dude.
So what has happened, he basically leaves Alabama after graduation, that sort of thing, gets into WWE developmental, and they have plunked him into the developmental brand, and he has worked his way. He was the NXT North American champion, which is kind of like the mid-level championship. He lost that 4, 5, 6 months ago, roughly. I think in Halloween, actually. I think he lost at Halloween. And then since Halloween to now has challenged for that top tier belt. And last night beat two different men's brains in. And I'm the champion, So obviously it's scripted, but they see
and Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah, he beat their brains in last night. Obviously it's scripted. We know that, but from an Alabama standpoint, Obafemi celebrate championships. They obviously see him as a star, and it's fun to have Alabama stars in high places.
That's always cool.
It's fun for me to talk about something that it really jazzes me.
When worlds collide.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move back to football. Let's get the people. Let's steer them right back. We'll yank them back in, the people who have turned it off. Jason Jones. What do we know about Jason Jones?
I'll be honest, I did not know really anything about Jason Jones before I read that report that he was supposedly, I guess. I don't know if it's confirmed. It is confirmed that he's joining the staff.
I think still in the reported stage, but I think it's like on the goal line. Okay. I think that's where people would see it.
Yeah, he was played in the late 90s.
Looks like he played
95 to 99, something like that. I think, or 96 to 99.
I think he was part of the 99 SEC championship team. He was a part of 3 bowl teams in that late 90s, early 2000, and then got in basically from playing straight into coaching, and has coached. It looks like, I think I saw Troy has coached. I know the most recent one, Indiana, Ole Miss, at North Carolina most recently. So he's on the North Carolina staff most recently. He was going to be hired as the East Carolina cornerbacks coach. He has chosen, he's reportedly choosing to forego that position, which would be an on-field position, to take this assistant defensive backs coach role, which will not be an on-field position. Remember, we got to talk about this with Ryan Grubb. This plays right into it. I cannot really even believe that I didn't really connect. I didn't think about this last week when we were having these conversations. But yes, there's only 10 on-field positions. But the NCAA, midsummer last year, said, "Oh, if you're an analyst, you can coach on the field. Oh, you just can't be on the field on game day. You can be in the box, whatever. But at practice, you can coach the drills,
as many folks you want out there,
and do whatever you want." Exactly. I don't even remember that because Coach Saban used to hire the army of analysts, and every time we would be at practice, they would be off in the corner because they weren't allowed to coach. They were just observing, kind of probably taking notes on Billy did this, Johnny did that. They can coach.
That has changed. Yeah.
And last year, Alabama took advantage of it with Jay Nunez. Jay Nunez was not an on-field coach.
That's become a much more attractive
Chuck Morrell as well.
Job opportunity or job option for people, I think.
Yeah, Chuck Morrell as well. And so obviously Chuck Morrell gets promoted to the on-field spot, and I don't even know why I didn't even connect all that. So anyway, long story short, to drive us back to our point, Jason Jones is going to be the assistant defensive backs coach, working probably with the safeties with Maurice Linguist. Basically, your Colin Hutzler replacement. And what you get is an Alabama alum who has worked with the staff before. A lot of the staff, they all cross paths with this fella at Indiana. So we've got history together.
This is just Kalen DeBoer getting his guys in on the staff that he wants to craft for himself. I love this.
Yeah.
We will see how it works, but as it stands right now, I think this is exactly how you want your coach to be building their staff. You want them to be going to get guys that they are familiar with, guys that are familiar with them, and guys that can buy into their system. You don't want a bunch of strangers in the room.
I'm not going to pretend like I was in the room to see what Colin Hitzler was like with the players. I have no idea. I have just a few media interactions that we had with them, and largely they were positive. But I'll say they weren't very enthusiastic, engaging. We'll say that. I don't want to talk bad about the fella. He seems like a nice fella, and he seems really, really smart. My assessment right here is that Coach DeBoer says, okay, I see an area that didn't something behind the scenes, and they obviously did a good job keeping it, relatively clean. But we didn't hear any issues.
Except for one.
Drake Kirkpatrick says, "Oh, thank God my safeties coach is good," and that's part of my inference here. It's part of my inference here. Kalen DeBoer says, "Okay, I see something that I don't like, or I'm not. It's not 100%. It's not, whatever." Moves on, bring somebody in. I think this is a relatively positive thing, and I think the Alabama fans. Of course, you bring back an Alabama alum, they're going to eat it up anytime you do that. Mama called Jason Jones home.
Do you think it, I don't think it really had anything to do with this, but do you think it was just in the back of Kalen Moore's head at all? Like, they are pretty mad at me right now. Maybe I'll go get a Bama alum. I do know one.
No, I don't. But I think it doesn't hurt his case at all.
Certainly, yeah, no, for sure. I think it, warms the hearts of some Bama fans who maybe remember him.
I don't think, exactly. I don't think Kalen DeBoer at all thought, the fan base is a little hot. I think he thought, I need a candidate. Oh, and this guy's an Alabama alum.
Works out well.
Yeah, great, perfect.
Win.
So excited to see. Look, I thought the secondary played fairly well this past year, considering everything that they went through and all their circumstances. So we'll see what Jason Jones can make out of the secondary with Maurice Linguist. Let's tell people about Derek Daniels, State Farm Insurance. We are right here in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios off of McFarland Boulevard, past the Tiger Rock on the left in Northport. You can call us at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Red, Reese, and Victoria, they'll be happy to take your call. They'll be happy to talk you through any auto insurance, any home insurance. You can get it on the phone with life insurance, all renter's insurance, really anything that you need in the insurance realm. The Derek Daniel family can help take care of you. Call them at 205-758-3391. They'll be happy to get on the phone and walk you through whatever you like. You can save you a lot of money. Call them at 205-758-3391. 888-866-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, Mason Woods. We got a basketball game tonight. The Alabama Crimson Tide taking on South Carolina, 6 o'clock. Alabama, a 9.5-point favorite. No Miles Studi for the game for the for the Gamecocks. But before we look at tonight, you got to look at last night. You had the past dictates the future. The past dictates the future in a lot of realms. What lessons can we take from the past? You got out to a good start on Saturday. You whooped all kinds of Oklahoma tail at home. You're about to go on your first road trip. And boy, what can we learn from lessons around the league? Oh my gosh, last night, dangerous on the road. Tennessee scores 43 points.
15 points in the first half. That's got to be an all-time. That's got to be up there with all-time bad performances for college basketball.
Do you think Nate Oates and Brian Adams watched this film and I'm sorry, we're late in the show, was just diamonds in their pants. Just, the defense, the blue collar. They made 7 field goals, didn't they?
Okay.
Isn't that what I have? Maybe I made that up.
I think that's what I saw.
No, they're 12. 12 of 56. God. 12 made shots the entire game.
It is worth noting that Tennessee did participate in the lowest scoring college basketball game of all time in 1973 when they defeated Temple 11-6.
They were 15 of 25 from the free throw line. They're 4 of 29 from the 3-point line.
Golly.
So,
I mean, is this even film that you can watch and really take value in if you're Alabama?
Well,
maybe
sure.
For Florida, I guess. But like if you're watching to scout Tennessee, do you even take any value in this, or do you?
A little, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you see what they did, and you see what they did. You see what it worked. Now, I didn't watch the game closely.
Mm-hmm.
I was viewing other programming. I see 12 of 56. They only turned the ball over 12 times. Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I am seeing maybe a very slow game, and that Tennessee didn't shoot well.
Horrible shooting.
And that's kind of maybe if you're Tennessee, that's what you chalk it up to. And if you're Alabama scouting from this, you say, hey, did Florida do anything to cause them not to shoot well, or was it just a bad night? Yeah. And maybe once you make that determination, you can decide if the film is valuable at that point. So it's dangerous on the road. Tennessee, number 1, falls, only scoring 43 points, but it stays dangerous on the road. Auburn goes on the road to play Texas, and they've been beating everybody's brains in. What were they favored by? Let's see what they were favored by. Auburn was favored. Oh, I don't have it right there. Yeah, I don't have it right there. But Auburn wins by 5. Auburn wins by 5. They go into half. They're
10.5.
Okay. They're favored by 10.5. They win by 5. I know it's close there at the end because it takes some. It's a 83-78 right there with 50 seconds left. It's still a 5-point game. So basically, Texas is in it the whole way. Texas had a player.
Shout out Arthur Kaluma.
Yeah, exactly. 34 points, 12 of 16 from the floor, getting after it from the inside. I mean, Janai Broome as well. Janai is just such a monster. Janai, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, only 1 turnover, 3 blocks, 2
player of the year.
steals.
That's your player of the year right there? Or is he going to get beat by Cooper Flagg?
Yes, Janai Broome is the player of the year.
Honestly, I think I'd rather him win it than Cooper Flagg. I don't know.
Long-term player in college.
I don't know that I can stand to watch just another, the big Duke guy just dominate college basketball again and be the talk of the town.
I'd rather the older guy,
the tenured college basketball star.
Exactly.
He's been here for a decade. He's got to get one.
Exactly. All right, so Auburn wins. They pull it out. Great. What lessons are we seeing, Alabama? It's going to be tough on the road. Okay, we continue these lessons. Nate Oates, please, if we're not hammering this all dadgum day, I'm not sure what we're doing. But Kentucky, number 6 team in the country. Now, of course, young first-year coach Mark Pope. We go into Stegman Coliseum and lose 82-69. Never in the game. And you got jokers. Now, I would if this was my player, they'd fire me for slapping him. They'd fire me because you got a Kentucky player at the free throw line late in the game, as is pretty much decided, and obviously they've lost, and he's dribble, shoot, and he's turned into the Georgia player. Well, yeah, I know this y'all Super Bowl. I know you can read it on his lips, clear as day. This is y'all Super Bowl. This y'all Super Bowl. I say, dude, shut the mess up. Shut the mess up. You just went into Stegman Coliseum and like. Georgia's not going to be good. Georgia, where are you? Very likely,
no, they're not going to be good. But it's still so early in the year that
Georgia's 39 in KenPom, so they're not terrible.
There's a chance Georgia could be pretty solid. I mean, it's not out of the question to think that Georgia could find themselves in the tournament. Maybe
Texas 38 in KenPom, so another not terrible team that Auburn played.
Yeah, that's just wild. I would not have comments like that flowing from my team.
Florida 5th in KenPom, so obviously that wasn't as huge of an upset. Excuse me. 16th in defensive rating.
I mean,
where is Tennessee? Tennessee fell after last night's game to 33rd in defensive rating.
Worth noting too in this Georgia-Kentucky game, like no one for Georgia, really went off. You had 4 players in double-digit scoring, and it was nobody more than 20 points. Kentucky. They didn't shoot great, but they didn't shoot like atrociously. 37.5% from the field is not great, but it's not 21% like we looked at with Tennessee. And then 24% from 3. You hit 80% of your free throws. Georgia just beat them just straight up. It wasn't like a fluke or anything.
Yeah, they got to the free throw line almost double Georgia did.
Yeah.
And so there you go. And they did you say out rebounded? Man, out rebounded the heck out of them.
Whoa.
34 to 41. Pretty even turnovers.
Yeah, 14 turnovers for Kentucky, not great, but 15 for Georgia, so.
And stacked it up on them. So our lessons here, NATO. Our lessons here, Alabama, as you go into South Carolina as a 9.5-point favorite. You can continue on. Mississippi State did get a good road win, 76-64 over Vanderbilt. But again, the last game of the night, Missouri at home, beating LSU's brains in, 83-67. Now LSU not great, but the point is the home teams are hard to beat.
This is going to be a very, very fun SEC basketball season, I believe. I think it's going to be a lot of upsets, a lot of teams vying for that top spot towards the end of the year.
Ain't gonna be no one-loss team at the top of the ranks. I don't think.
Nate Oates, you better be telling these boys they got to take every one of these teams that they play very seriously, because they will show up and they will come to play. And, just because South Carolina has some bad losses doesn't mean they're going to roll over in this game.
Didn't South Carolina beat Clemson?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Coach Oates talked about that yesterday, trying to hype up the game, hype up his team, and respect the opponent. That was kind of his selling point. He's like, oh, yeah, I know that they've had ups and downs, but they beat Clemson. He said Clemson's he said we're 1-1 with Clemson, or 1-2, because Clemson beat Alabama in Atlanta with Nate Oates at State Farm Arena, and then they beat us here in the ACC Challenge. But Alabama will beat Clemson in the tournament. So Nate Oates is 1-2 against Clemson. That's what he said. Yes, exactly. He said, yeah, we're 1-2 against Clemson in my time, and they beat Clemson. They're a good program. So if they can do that, yeah. Now, they're not going to have Miles Stute, pretty good little three-point shooter, pretty good little guard. On paper, we talked about it yesterday. It should be, man, you play your game, you play your defense, you run your pace, you get your shots, you get to the rim.
You should be able to run them out of the gym.
Protect the basketball. Yes, you should be looking at a right. It should be looking at a party for you. Just have a little caution due to what has happened in the league over the last 24 hours. And I would say, look, at this point, with Tennessee going down, with Kentucky going down, man, great opportunity right here. Get you a win. Go one up on your rivals right here. Obviously, Auburn's already right there. So you got to match what Auburn did. If you want that beautiful double, a chance at the double.
This is going to be an SEC schedule where every single game counts. You cannot, there will be no room for error. You will not be able to afford to drop one of these games to a South Carolina, You got to win these ones.
All right. What do you think about what do you think is going to be tonight? Give me a final score before we get out of here on a Wednesday.
I'm going to go 96 to 72.
I like it 96-72. I like Alabama 88. I like Alabama 88. 88. I like South Carolina 64. Yeah. I think that it'll slack off a little bit on the defensive side of the second, right. but really it won't matter.
They should take a 20 to 30 point lead into the half.
Dang. Yeah. South Carolina is scoring 73 points a game, 74 points a game to Alabama's 91. Oh, yeah. I like that. 88-64. That's what I like. Chop some points off of each team's total scoring and give us a game. We'll find out. We'll see what happens. 6 o'clock on ESPN. Is that where we have it on? On SEC Network. Excuse me. On SEC Network. And obviously you can find it on Crimson Tide Sports Network to listen to Chris and Brian if you want it from the real Alabama perspective. They're going to give you a great taste from courtside. All right. Mason Woods, anything else you got for the people today? Any thoughts, comments, random things that came to your mind during the hour?
Oh, I did see. I saw this right earlier, and I had it pulled up here. I don't know if you saw this video of Bryce Young went to the Hornets game last night and got him a Brandon Miller autograph. That's pretty neat.
Brandon Miller autograph, RTR as well.
Yeah, that's nice to see. I just love to see things like that. You know, obviously Bryce Young. We talked about him earlier in the week having such a resurgence the last half of the year, and it's good for him.
You wrote, what'd you write beforehand?
Yeah. Keelan Russell signs his first major NIL deal since coming to Tuscaloosa. I mean, he arrived in town just a few days ago. We talked about it yesterday, and he is already inking NIL deals, making moves, making money moves. He signs with Panini America. He's going to get him some trading cards, going to, I think, be in some promotional material, some marketing things and like that. You know, I'm sure he'll have to deal with folks saying he needs to focus on football, if I had to imagine. But that's
gotta
cool.
Focus on ball.
That's I don't care who you are. It's got to be cool to see yourself on a football card.
Hey man, you gotta win the QB1 job. Don't be taking no pictures.
All things considered, that is wild for this company to jump out and sign somebody that's not even guaranteed to be a starter this season.
Don't be taking no pictures yet. Don't be taking no pictures till you throw your first touchdown pass.
Good for him, though. Good for Keelan. I'm sure it was a very lucrative deal, if I had to imagine.
Did you see this broke during the show? This was the least surprising news ever. Jeremiah Alexander makes his transfer portal decision. Do you see where he went? Clemson. Why did he go there? He and Peter Woods are boys.
Yep.
Peter Woods are, and there was rumors. Oh my gosh, there was rumors in the December transfer window that Alabama and Peter Woods were doing the flirty dance. I don't know how true that was.
Yeah, I never really bought into that too much. Okay. It never really seemed that real. Was it real?
I don't know, but I think there was a little bit to it. But again, do I know or not? No.
I don't know. It seemed like that was more of a fan wish list thing.
Perhaps. I think there was I think that probably was the driver there. But Jeremiah Alexander joins his buddy Peter Woods and transfers to Clemson.
Looks like Elijah Pritchett may be going to Nebraska.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes.
I heard that when he first went in the portal, so I think that's pretty much the place. And I think they paid him a stupid amount of money, Mason.
Good for them. Good for you.
Like, are you kidding me?
Because they're paying Raiola a lot.
I think it went, hey man, you tired of battling for your job? Hey, man.
We'll tattoo your name in right here, right tackle.
That's exactly what I think happened. I think, hey, buddy, are you tired of battling with Taco Casa? Are you tired of dealing with the coaches getting on to you about not showing up on time and not giving effort and giving other students STDs and getting arrested for driving down the wrong way in town and being just a fool in general? You can come to Nebraska. We'll pay you a lot of money to come to Nebraska. We'll give you a clean slate. And I think he saw a check and a clean slate and said, sayonara.
More power to you, man. More power to you, Cornhuskers. We'll see what you get.
That's what's flabbergasting to me. Like, the market, I used to be such a I used to be such a man. It's going to figure itself out. The market's going to figure itself out. Everything's going to balance out. Give it some time. But when you're saying, hey man, we need a right tackle. Who can we go get? And whatever money you paid this kid, it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't understand it because like there is no valuation of like, especially with a guy like, I'm sorry, but I'll just be honest. A guy, we're late in the show. Who cares? If you get mad at me, leave a comment. The guy like Elijah Pritchett, who could be an All-American. I think he could be. Probably. I think he could be an All-American.
Certainly has the physical prowess to do so.
When his switch is flipped on and he is blocking his tail off and he knows his assignments and he's confident in his steps, man, that's an All-American. But he was one of the most volatile players on the team because he'd give you the worst effort in the world and be half-assing it. How can you pay for that? How can anyone pay for that? It is such a...
And two, like, do you think are these coaches or these GMs, whoever it is, kind of making these deals?
They know what's going on in Tuscaloosa,
and are they calling other programs and being like, "Hey, man, how much y'all pay for your right tackle? How much you pay for your right tackle? Because we need to make an offer."
They're all lying.
Yeah, come on.
They're all saying bleep off. I'm not going to tell you, or I'm paying $4 million. Yes. I'm paying $12 million. I'm paying.
It is all so ridiculous. Again, all this to say, I have not seen any confirmation on an NIL deal. We don't know. It's just kind of things we maybe are.
No, that's what I heard. Is that they tampered with him?
And
is that Nebraska said, "Hey, we'll parachute you on out of here we'll parachute you out of here for a deal."
I would love to
fresh start in the deal. Less competition in the Big Ten, buddy.
I'd love to have access to a list of, genuine, like an actual, itemized rundown of what each of these positions are getting played. Hey,
you can go up against Nebraska and Minnesota.
He'll probably have a good time up there.
He probably will.
Except for when he has to play, Ohio State or Oregon or the once or twice a year.
Actually, my bet is in those games he'll look great because he'll know this is my time. I got to flip the switch.
Some team will fall in love with him, and he'll be like Isaiah Wilson. No, I can't say that about anybody. That's the worst draft pick of all time.
I'm not trying to bag on anybody as they're going out the door, but the process of the market, the process of player movement is so messed up. If you want to transfer, fine. Cool.
We didn't talk about this, but it's been a week or so now since I have that's the end of the show. Nobody really cares. Jim Mora, like 2 weeks ago, coming out saying, I've been in talks with my players to find out exactly who's tampering, and we will be coming after you.
Name names.
Yeah, like you did that and then didn't name anybody.
Coach Bill Smith from Northwest University, from North South University, from East.
Because I guarantee you, if you follow through on that threat, you're not going to get tampered with as much. But these coaches are just
why they're not,
because they want to be able to tamper themselves.
Yes, exactly. And the issue is like the head coach.
Probably not the one doing a lot of it.
Exactly. The head coach can't say, Coach Bill Smith from East West University Tech is tampering with my quarterback, because he doesn't want to find out that lower level assistant coach Tom Jones,
whoever,
right? Mm-hmm. Tom Jones is calling, whoever from Western Carolina U, sure. Right? Because it's just a mess.
It is. It's a complete mess. I don't know how to fix it either. I don't know, because there's not any real way that I can.
Because the assistant coaches aren't like, the head coach takes that plausible deniability track of, if I don't know about it, if I don't know about it,
whatever,
then it's fine.
Sure. I mean, if you were, I know the NCAA is never going to do anything, but say you were the NCAA and you had the opportunity to lay down some sort of rules, guidelines, whatever it is. I mean, how would you even go about policing?
It's the portal, man. Because the portal, if you can
make the portal less attractive,
right? If you can get assets out of the portal everything that are useful to you next year, Then of course, like, hey man, I want you, Mason Woods. You're the best center in the portal. You're the best center. You had a great freshman year. I'll pay you $3 million to come to my university to play your last 2 years before you go pro.
Mm-hmm.
You 1.5 a year, right? Basically, that's a good deal, right? It's a great deal for
Seems
a
like
center,
pretty standard.
right? But if I can, and then I get you for 2 years. Of course, I'm doing that all day.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. But if you're a freshman, you just put on a great year, or shoot, whatever you did,
Then you got to sit out.
you got to sit out.
Yeah.
Even 6 games. I don't know what it is. Like you just make like you say, oh, it's not fair to make them sit out a year. Okay,
Make them miss all of the spring practice or
something, some sort of
sit out a
penalty.
significant amount of time to where they will not be able to just be thrown right into the lineup.
Right. I think I still like the one-time transfer, but you get the 2 and 3 and 4.
I agree with you.
If that second time, if you're going to the transfer portal after the second time, buddy, you got to sit out a whole year.
No, I agree with that.
Because you shouldn't be able to leverage every. We're late in the show. You can't have a player make the catch on 4th and 31 and say, "Oh, look at my good play. I need a raise before I go play in an SEC championship game." What? What?
Grave digger.
No, you need to finish the rest of the season and then we'll talk. Like,
yeah,
you can't have these kids. Oh, I had a good game. Give me a raise. Give me a raise. Give me a like. And I'm all about getting a raise. Shoot, pay the boys. Pay them all what they're worth. But like, the lack of structure has put all the power into the players' hands. And because all the power is in the hands of 17 to 23-year-olds, it's being wielded without any sense of responsibility, without any sense of any of repercussion, of consequence. Because and so, oh man, I'll transfer again, and I'll transfer again, and I'll transfer again. And like, sure, you may make a lot of money, and it might work out for you.
1 in every 2,500.
I don't know. It's just icky.
I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm all for empowering the players, but like you said, at this point they have all of the power, and that's not a recipe for a successful sports league. I mean, you look at the NBA kind of. I mean, it's apples and oranges a little bit, but
they're partners.
But yes, the NBA has basically just tanked in its national popularity in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And I don't know that that's necessarily correlated with the rise in player empowerment and the share that the players have in the say that the way things operate within the league, but it's there for sure. Those two things have both happened at the same time. So I don't know. Draw your own conclusions.
I think that you have to have. I mean, you look at all these professional sports leagues; they all have players' associations that are partnerships with the owners, and there's all healthy negotiations. We'll give this, we'll take that. We'll give this, we'll take that. You can debate whether things have gone too far. I know the NFL, golly, sometimes the product is not that good because they're not hitting each other as much in practice. And as you said, the NBA
takes like 4 or 5 weeks. You know, once you get past the first few weeks of the season, then they lock in. But those first few weeks are always a slog.
But you at least have some semblance of structure in the like. I know my Bears season's over. We've got X amount of guys that are up for free agents and deals, and Y amount of money to go spend on free agents, and Z amount of draft picks to shop around with and use. Like, I know my assets. The Bears aren't calling me to donate $10 a month. I'll tell you that. I would be out on that deal. I promise you. They would be irresponsible with my money.
Honestly, with the way the Tennessee Titans have handled things, I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing that.
You're not signing up. Are you going to sign up for the Tighten Up NIL deal?
No, I would not. No, I would go out of my way to actively encourage other people not to do it as well. I would campaign in the Nashville area, you screaming in the streets with a megaphone, "Do not give your money to Amy Adams Strunk."
Who are y'all taking number 1? Are you drafting?
I would like to see a trade back. Thank you. I would like to see a trade back to about pick number 3, and then I would like to see either Teteroa McMillan or Abdul Carter.
McMillan's a wide receiver, right? He's not going to 3. Is he?
No, probably you could probably go back to 5, 6 and get him.
Okay.
Because
Abdul Carter looks like a monster.
Abdul Carter is a top 3 pick, I think. That one I don't think you're getting if you get out of the top 3.
You just want to suffer another year with Will Levis?
Yes, I do. No, I mean I'll be fine with if they want to do that, sure. But I think the blueprint here. I think you sign you a mediocre veteran, you go sign you a Derek Carr, you go sign you a whoever. He'll get you to 6, 7 wins. That'll save you your job for another year, Brian Callahan. And then you go draft Arch Manning. You sell the farm to go get that number 1 overall pick in 26, and you draft Arch. Or if someone else presents himself as the top quarterback, I guess you take them. But it's looking like it's going to be Arch.
They say Drew Aller is going to be that guy.
I still don't see it. He made some nice throws in the playoff, though, but I still don't see it.
Is he going to beat Notre Dame? When's the next bleeping playoff game? Is it Monday?
I think so.
The semifinals are Monday? Oh, my gosh. When you're out of it, you don't care at all.
January 9th. So
that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Wow.
Okay, sweet.
So, yeah, Notre Dame, Penn State tomorrow. Ohio State, Texas on the 10th, following day.
Thursday, Friday.
Good to know.
Hail to Notre Dame.
I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think I read this morning that Jeremiah Love is expected to play, and I think that will not bode well for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
4 quarters of FU football.
Yeah. I'm going to take Notre Dame. I think it'll be close. I think that 1.5, I'd probably take Notre Dame to cover, but just because they win by like a field goal or something at the end, not because they win significantly.
Can Notre Dame beat Ohio State?
No, they cannot.
I think they can.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
To be honest with you, I'm probably pulling for the Buckeyes in that matchup. I think Ryan Day winning a national title is the funniest possible outcome for this
while
season.
Losing to Michigan like a couple years in a row.
Yes, you can't beat your rival. Your fans hate your guts, but you just won a title.
But then they get the 2017 Iron Bowl effect where, our rivalry game doesn't even matter.
Like, they don't do that. Ohio State fans are still mad about losing to Michigan right now, and they're going to play for the title probably. Alabama fans, sure, they wrote that game off immediately once they realized it meant nothing. But Michigan, for whatever reason, Ohio State fans are not that way. They are still. Is it
because they don't have the ring yet? Because Alabama got,
Maybe if they do, we'll see. But it doesn't seem like they're going to stay mad about that.
Well, stay mad. That's a great way to live.
Please fire your national championship winning head coach. That would be so funny.
Ryan Day comes to the Kalen DeBoer Analyst School.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
That'd be great.
He'd go straight to the NFL.
Oh, of course.
He'd go to your Bears probably. Go be OC for the Bears.
The Bears are interviewing.
Go hire Brian Flores.
Everyone. They're interviewing everyone.
Yeah, they are.
And they're casting such a wide net that they're going to end up hiring a bozo, and it's going to be 3 more years of.
You could be the Jets though. The Jets are going to hire Rex Ryan again, and that's going to be really funny.
We're going to hire the equivalent, whatever the equivalent is, just in different skin, just in different face, just in different name.
Brian Flores will be good
for 2 seasons. Until his act wears thin?
Sure. Until he runs Caleb Williams into the dirt and makes him hate him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He'll have a 7-win season and then a 12-win season, and then everybody will hate him, and then it'll be into the tank.
Man, oh man. I wish as a child I had chosen a different team.
I wish as a child I had not chosen a team at all.
I wake up and it's like that scene from Interstellar where he's yelling at himself in the bookshelf. And that's me yelling at my childhood self, picking up that Titans jersey and being like, oh.
Yeah, I wish I had not chosen the team at all.
Yeah, life would probably be a lot easier.
Okay.
I think about what those people who don't watch sports do, and it's just like that life does seem miserable to me.
Miserable or simple?
I will continue to live.
Miserable or simple? Simple and beautiful.
Simple, maybe. But
envious to a degree.
The epic highs and lows, you can't match it.
All right, let's get out of here. We're going to watch Alabama's basketball game tonight at 6 o'clock. Alabama and South Carolina. We'll be back to talk about it tomorrow. Leave us a comment on the show at Joe Gaither 6 or on the BamaCentral YouTube channel or on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. Subscribe, rate, and review. Send it to a friend. And we'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.